All right, so today we're diving into some smart marketing strategies, huh? We're taking a look at this Udemy blog post you sent over. It's called, what was it? Top 6 real estate marketing ideas? Something like that.
That's the one. Top 6 real estate marketing ideas.
Right, right. And, you're not selling houses or anything. But I was thinking as I read through this, there's some really good stuff here for anyone who wants to get their work out there?
Oh, absolutely. Like the core principles they lay out, totally applicable to anyone, really. Finding the right people, building a strong, unique brand, making the internet work for you, not against you. It's all in there.
You know what really caught my eye? They say ditch the cold calls. I mean, who even likes cold calling? And they're not just saying stop. They're saying, like, build systems to bring people to you instead.
That's a big shift, right? Instead of chasing after folks, make it so they come knocking.
That's what I want to figure out. How do you actually do that?
Well, I'm sure we'll get into that.
For sure. But first, I gotta say, I love that they start off strong. Like, they don't mess around. Point number 1 is all about carving out time. Literally, marketing day, they call it.
Yeah. It's so easy to let that stuff slide when you're busy. But they're right. You got to make time. Just like, I don't know, if you were a real estate agent, you wouldn't just sit around waiting for the phone to ring.
Totally. It's gotta be active, right? You're out there showing houses, making connections, whatever it is.
Right. Putting in the work.
And they even say, like, do it on Mondays. Marketing Monday. What's up with that, you think? Is that just, like, pick a day and stick to it?
Maybe. Maybe. Could be a good way to start the week strong, though. Proactive.
Yeah, I like that. Get ahead of the game. Okay, so time is set aside. What's next? They jump right into, like, knowing your people, your target market. They even say, like, don't try to be everything to everyone.
Which, if you think about it, makes perfect sense for you, too, right? Like,
Yeah.
who are you trying to reach? What do they care about?
Right, it's going to be focused. And they even talk about, like, geography. Don't spread yourself too thin, trying to be everywhere at once.
Yeah, it's like, imagine you're a writer, right? And you write, I don't know, historical fiction set in ancient Rome.
Hmm.
You're not going to waste time trying to convince people who only read sci-fi to check you out. Find your people.
Makes total sense. Okay, now this is where it gets kind of bold. They say, plan for market domination. I mean, whoa, slow down there.
I don't think they mean, like, take over the world or anything.
I hope not.
But it's about mindset, right? Like, go in with a plan to succeed. Don't just hope for the best.
Be the emperor of Roman historical fiction.
Well, maybe not that literally.
Yeah.
But yeah, have a strategy. Don't just wait for things to happen.
They even say, like, don't just react, have a plan that I can get behind.
Being proactive is huge no matter what you're doing.
And then, oh man, this is the best part. Stop cold calling. Music to my ears.
It's just not effective. you know, Annoying, too.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it's not just about stopping, right? Like we said before, it's about building something better.
They call it attracting warm leads. Like, people are already kind of interested. They're coming to you.
Okay, now that's interesting. How does that actually work, though? What kind of systems are we talking about?
Well, I think that's where it gets really specific to what you do and who you're trying to reach.
Right, right. All right, so no cold calling. But what else? What else they got? Let me see. This is funny. Like, forget about fame.
Like, you need to be a celebrity to be successful. Come on.
Right. It's about the work, right? The impact you're making.
Exactly. And they tie this into focusing on what really matters. You
Yeah.
know? Like, what are the results you're aiming for?
That's a good question for anyone, actually. What are your transactions, even if you're not literally selling something?
Yeah. Fame might come along for the ride, but it's not the goal.
Right. It's about the value you're bringing to the table.
Focus on that. The rest will follow. Okay, so we've covered time, target audience, being proactive. What's next?
Oh, this is a big one. Use the internet. I mean, duh, right. But they actually go deeper than that.
It's not just about having a website. It's about using it strategically, like we are right now, actually,
Right.
talking about this, sharing these ideas.
Right. This is internet marketing in action. But they point out, like, so many businesses have these terrible websites. No one wants to visit them.
Okay. Well, think about it like this. You walk into a bookstore, tons of books, right? What makes you pick one up?
The cover, I guess, if it looks interesting.
Exactly. Your website, it's like your cover.
Yeah.
Got to grab people's attention.
Make them want to read more.
Right. So it's got to be more than just like a list of stuff.
Yeah.
You've got to think about the whole experience.
Easy to use, looks good.
Mobile friendly. People are on their phones all the time. And don't forget, clear calls to action. Tell people what you want them to do now.
Sign up, buy now, whatever it is.
Make it super obvious. No one wants to hunt around.
And this all applies to you too, right? Like your work, your online stuff, what works for you?
Well, for me, writing and speaking, that's been good.
Mm.
But for someone else, that might be video or social media. Got to find your thing.
And the source makes this point, I thought it was interesting, about telling people why they should care. Like, what's the benefit?
It's true. You're offering a solution, right? Not
Yeah.
just a product or a service.
Like, what problem are you solving for people?
Right. And what makes you the person to do it?
Okay, but how do you actually say that? Like, without sounding all salesy and weird?
It's a skill, for sure. But think about it this way. What are you good at? What makes you different?
Yeah, that's good. Your strengths.
And connect those strengths to what people need. That's your message right there.
Okay, so we know what to say, but how do we actually, like, make this stuff happen?
That's where systems come in. Make it so your marketing isn't just random stuff you do when you remember.
Makes it easier, right?
Way easier. Think about things like email lists or those tools that schedule your social media post for you.
Oh, yeah, those are handy.
Right. Frees up your brain to focus on the good stuff, the creative part.
So it's like, work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Doesn't have to be complicated.
Start small, right? One step at a time.
And speaking of steps, remember we talked about calls to action. What do you want people to do?
Yeah, gotta give them a next step. Sign up, learn more, whatever.
And don't be shy about it. Make it clear. Click here.
Like a big flashing button.
You got it. Okay, so let's bring this back to you now. Think about your ideal website. What would that look like?
Oh, that's a good one.
What's on there? How does it make people feel?
Makes you think.
It's like designing your own little corner of the internet, right?
Yeah. Wow, this is a lot. I think I need a minute to process all this.
I hear that.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in.
Let's take a quick breather, and then we'll come back for the grand finale.
Back again. So much to think about, huh?
I know, right? My brain is buzzing with ideas over here.
Mhm.
It really all comes back to making the time, doesn't it? Like they said at the beginning.
It's the foundation, yeah. If you don't carve out that space, the rest is just kind of, well, good luck.
And it's not just the time itself, it's how you use it, right? We
Yeah.
talked about finding your people, making those systems.
Building that awesome online presence, it's a lot.
Overwhelming almost. But I guess, like with anything, start small, right?
One thing at a time. Pick something that feels good and build from there.
And be willing to try stuff, see what works.
Exactly. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. What works for me might not work for you, and vice versa.
You know, something you said earlier really stuck with me about explaining your value, why people should care. That's always tough, I feel like.
I get that. It's like, ugh, do I have to toot my own horn?
Yeah.
But it's not about bragging, really.
Right. It's more like explaining what you're bringing to the table.
Right. And honestly, I think the easiest way is to just focus on the people you want to help. Like, what are their needs?
And then you're basically saying, hey, this is how I can help you with that.
Exactly. It takes the pressure off of you. In a way, it's not about you, it's about them.
That's a great way to look at it. It makes the whole selling yourself thing less scary, for sure.
Totally. And, you know, the more you focus on providing that value, the more natural it becomes to talk about it.
So it's like confidence comes from knowing you're actually helping people.
Exactly. All right. I feel like we've given everyone a lot to chew on here.
I know, right? From ditching the cold calls to building our internet empires.
Well, maybe not empires, but definitely taking control, you know,
Yeah.
being proactive.
Owning it. So, to everyone listening, we hope this deep dive sparks some ideas for you.
Remember, find your people, build those systems, and make that online presence shine.
And have fun doing it. Thanks for joining us on this marketing adventure. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.